Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Charity First Handicapping Contest live here from the great race place, Santa Anita Park. And it is great now that the fans are back. It is just fantastic. We got another great show lined up. Chappie, how you doing this morning?
Good, Georgie. I'm fired up. Another good weekend of racing. The Derby picture yesterday, another little more up in the air. I'm sure we'll talk to our guests about that, but looking forward to today.
Yeah, looking forward to today as well. Great racing here at the great race place. And once again, next Friday, we're not going to have any racing. We're trying to give the turf course a chance to regenerate, recoup itself, and then we'll be back with turf racing after that. So in the meantime, we got 9 exciting races today, and we got 2 spectacular guests today, Chappie.
Yeah, my man Joe, I might as well introduce him now. Joe Moran from My Racehorse. We're going for our 3rd try at this, and Joe's fired up. So he said he hasn't slept all night. He's been studying. And, I love him. He's my teammate. But if he loses, I'm not asking him back.
I was willing enough. I said, I don't get the invite if we lose today. So we have a different strategy today. We just need to find winners and build the bankroll today.
I love it. All
right, well, my guest, I've been trying to get her on the show. I'm really excited. This is her first time on the show. So beginner's luck, she's going to crush. Joe, I'm sorry. You're going to go 0 for 3.
I wouldn't be surprised.
She's a native of the UK, of course, member of the XBTV on-air team. She's got, she presented at the Eclipse Awards. She's got such a fantastic resume. One of the cool things is she's the only woman to ever win the Marlboro Cup Timber Race. She worked as a stunt woman. She was a stand-in for Bo Derek. I mean, she's done it all. Of course, she gives insightful information, especially on xbtv.com, where you can get free. You can watch the workouts here at Santa Anita for free. Also, some great segments with Millie, where she analyzes and breaks down the workouts. And of course, she's live here at Santa Anita during the races, in between every race, giving you really updated information and invaluable information as to how a horse looks, how he's doing. And she's got a keen eye since she's been in this business. Whoa, she's worked under Frankel and you just name it. I mean, it goes on and on. Bob Baffert, Richard Mandela. I mean, it goes on. And is married to Tim Yakteen. But more importantly, she's got 2 beautiful kids. And one of them, man, is doing a fantastic job. So welcome to the show. And tell us about Sam.
Thank you very much. You pumped me up, and yet you still invited me because you thought I was the best bet to get beaten by Joe, who's lost. I appreciate that. No, Sam has been working diligently over the last 8 weeks to raise money for LLS, which is the Lymphoma Leukemia Association. My mother sadly passed away from multiple myeloma. I know a lot of family members from the Santa Anita family have lost their own family members to cancer. So it was great. He came out. He got a ton of support from the Santa Anita family, the patrons, the owners, trainers, jockeys. It was fantastic. And his team of 5 boys ended up raising $43,000. So
wow.
Research, for multiple myeloma and anything that falls under the bracket of lymphoma and leukemia. So very exciting. They did a great job.
We're very excited. We're very proud of him, and obviously you're a great mom, great parents, because to raise I haven't raised $43 for any charity I think in my lifetime, Chappie. Anyway, I feel like every time we have a show, I start with this, but I mean, it's just happening. I feel so terrible, but I mean, my sympathies goes out to the family of Neil French, who just passed away. And I loved Neil French. I mean, he was one of the nice guys back here. And, that's everybody says that. But, I mean, he really was so nice, just really had such bad luck with health of late, but didn't have a lot of horses. What are your memories of Neil French there, Millie?
My memories really, I mean, just seeing him on his, scooter thing and on the apron there, watching his horses train, and to be walking along the apron now and not seeing that will be very sad. And I think from the racing industry, particularly here in California, we've lost some really great people, Gary Sherlock, Barry Abrams, Neil French. And it's been a really hard year for the racing family, I think, with the losses that we've had.
We sure have. Speaking of losses, Joe, what about that loss in the of Concert Tour? Really mixes things up here now for the Triple Crown.
They've got you on mute, Joe.
I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. It definitely mixes some things up. I would say the last few weeks have mixed some things up, but I still would not count Concert Tour out. We know he has a lot of ability. They did go fast early. I don't want to give him a full excuse on that, but I do think he'll be around come Derby time. So I don't think you can count him out yet.
Hey, Millie, out of the ones that you've seen out here, of course, yesterday, but, with Hot Rod Charlie and Rock Your World, and what horse are you leaning towards? I know we've got a ways to go, but anything you're leaning towards as far as the West Coast contingent?
Well, we still, I have to say that the Santa Anita Derby turned out to be a bit of a slow race. So I was trying to look elsewhere for a California horse. Concert Tour, I agree with you. I think you can't just discount him off of that one particular race. I wonder whether the tactics had been employed differently. The outcome might have been different. I don't know. No, we don't know. But to be honest, I'm feeling like the strength now is on the East Coast. I really like a horse, Known Fact, who won the Florida Derby. I mean, that has been such a productive prep to go on and win the Kentucky Derby over the years. And he might just be a Belmont horse because he's a horse that just the further you go, the better he gets. And I always say he's in endeavor mode right from the get-go, whether you're watching him breaking from the pole in the morning or in his races, he just puts his head down and he's got that gritty long stride and he just is able to sustain his pace the whole way. So right now I'm looking at Kim, and of course the champ essential quality you have to factor him is he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, no question about it. It's a wide open picture. Joe, what do you got any thoughts on who you're leaning towards as of right now?
I was super impressed, and going into the Santa Anita Derby, I was excited for Rock Your World to get on the dirt. I think he's a horse that can just maintain a speed for a long stretch. So for me in the Derby, you want to have speed, and I think he's a horse. I don't think he needs to be on the lead, but I think he showed some very tactical speed in that race, and he's probably going to be my play sticking with him. So that's where I'm gonna stick a hometown boy here.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of the horses per se. None of them really sticks out. And I love Bob Baffert, one of my favorites. Love Doug O'Neill, one of my favorites. I wish they all could win, but the connections that I'm really rooting for is the connections of Rock My World. John Sadler, one of the best trainers in the country, and maybe the country doesn't know that, but they're going to find out for sure with this Kentucky Derby run. Mr. Ronis could be one of the nicest owners I've ever met. And Umberto Rispoli is Mr. Personality. I love that guy. He is, he makes me look like, I got no energy at all. The guy's unbelievable. He's so energetic. We did a little clip on him. It came out great with his beautiful son. And then when he won that race, man, he was pumping his fist. He's just, I think he's going to be great for the sport if he wins because he's got personality. There's some other jockeys that are really good, but it's going to be, you won the Kentucky Derby. Jess, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank this guy. I want to thank that guy. Umberto Rispoli is going to go bananas. He's going to be going bananas. I really hope that he wins because I really love the connections.
George, have you ever seen his son, Millie? I'm sure you have. His son down on the apron whipping.
Yeah, it's the whipping away.
I mean, he's priceless, and he gives his dad a right scolding when he loses.
Yeah.
He can do it in Italian, French, and English.
Yeah. He whips out all the languages there. And he was funny because when we interviewed him, I was only joking. He was like, I'm from Napoli, Italy. And then I asked him, I was just totally kidding. Oh, so you got connections to the mafia? He goes, yes, I do. And we're like, oh man, this guy can whack me. If I say anything wrong in this interview, I get whacked. So it was really entertaining. I love that guy.
We've got to get started here, George.
We got to. All right. Well, For you guys that may not know, each one of our handicappers is going to get $300 in mythical money. They're going to play $100 to win, $100 in exactas, and $100 in daily doubles. And hopefully they're going to turn their bankroll into over $1,000 because our great charity is Karma. Takes care of these magnificent equine athletes when they retire. And if any of our contestants go over 1,000, we're going to give an extra 500 to all the money we've already raised for Karma. And so it's a great event. And whoever wins today will move on to round 2. And if you win it all, you'll be named the champion. And the handicapper who wins it all will get $1,000 cash as well. All right, so we're going to start out. Millie, you got $100 to win. Where are you going and why?
Okay. So if you followed me enough, you know me well enough, you know that I'm always rooting for my husband. But when it's work, business is business. And I approach it like that. But I have to say, I'm going with the family horse. And the reason is because I do think Big Passion, I know, has been training very well for the barn. But I think this filly is the only one with legitimate speed in here. And Starship Sky, if she transfers her turf races to the dirt, then I think she's got an extremely good chance of winning. But I'm going to take the gamble, having watched some of the workouts, and they're all slow, that Big Passion is going to be able to wire the field in here. So I went with the $100 on Big Passion, and trust me, there'll be trouble at mill, as they say in England, if Big Passion doesn't win this evening.
Big Passion certainly looks in a race where there's a lot of question marks for some of the other favorites and question marks all around, going from turf to dirt. But it's certainly, there's no question mark that there is really no speed in the race. It looks like Big Passion is easily going to get the lead. Just a question mark of whether, Big Passion can go from those $1,000-yard sprint races to a mile. We'll see. But certainly going to get an easy lead. And yesterday, whoever went to the lead won. If the track plays the way it does again today, Big Passion has a wonderful shot. Wonderful apprentice, Emily Ellingwood. What do you think of her, looking at her, Millie? Obviously, you guys named her to ride. You must like her.
Right. Yeah. She's very good out of the gate. I think for somebody who hadn't been riding for too long, she really has learned quickly to get a horse out of the gate and get a horse to feel comfortable in her hands early in the race. So I've been very impressed. She can switch to the left hand, which is always, the toughest thing, I think, when you're starting out. And so she's doing a great job. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take the lead. We're going to have the lead, Chappie. We're going to have the lead after race 1.
By the way, somebody says, love the $7 check on the wall. Yeah, that's my big win there, $7. Very proud of it. Never cashed that. Another thing we talked about, Emily, too, I think you and I talked with Benny. She seems to have very good hands and gets horses to switch leads very nicely as well. And, as far as yesterday, I think 7 of the 9 races were won wire to wire. So as far as speed's concerned, definitely dominating yesterday. Joe, speaking of dominating, we got to get you off the schneid. Where are we going with our win bet and why?
Yeah, so, the last 2 times I've tried to create value in here, and it hasn't worked out well. So I'm changing my tactics. I'm going to be a little more logical here and go with some horses I think can get it done for me regardless of the price. It's going to lead me to a speed horse, same reasons you guys were talking about. And I'm going to go race number 7, Bob Baffert, Ginja number 2. I thought ran very well on debut, broke from the rail, though was beat by the morning line favorite Stressed in this race. I thought she fought on very gamely in her debut. Stressed had a race under her going into that race. So I think you're going to see improvement here, and I truly think she is the speed of the speed. It is 5.5 today, and ultimately I think she can take them all the way.
All right, so Bob Baffert, we're 9 to 5 in the morning line, but like Joe said, we just want to get off the board and drew the rail last time, so hopefully improving second time out. George, I like his play. We're coming in hot today, brother. We're here to win.
I like his play. Certainly second time out, Bob Baffert. A lot of improvement expected out of that one. And Stress has already had 3 races. I think more upside. I like your pick in Ginja. But, Millie, our job, he's a perennial maiden. He's going to be in the maiden ranks. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that just, there he is in the maiden. He always gets a check, but, he doesn't break the maiden. So we're going to keep him. Keep him that goose egg. Keep him happy. That's where he's happy. His owners get a check every 3 weeks.
I was going to say that there'll be trouble at mill at the Baffert household as well if Ginger doesn't win, because it's owned by his wife and named after Jill's sister. So there might be more pressure on the Baffert barn than there is with that one.
Yeah.
All right, she's been on the Pony Club. She was on the she did steeplechases. She's ridden every kind of horse you could possibly imagine, and we're gonna ride this exacta to a win. You got $100 exacta. Where are you going?
I'm going to race number 3 in here. Get to it, and I'm going to single the Baffert Barraza. I think he's a standout in this race. He's going to be a very, very short price, but kind of doing the same tactics as Joe's taken on. I'm trying to just go with the logical exacta here. So I went with Barraza on top, and I think there's 2 horses that could run second. So those 2 horses underneath.
All right, Bob Baffert, a runner that's been running really good. Ran into another Bob Baffert beast last time out in Triple Tap. So there's no disgrace in losing the Triple Tap there. So even though this one was just maiden, then, he drops from maiden, but he's not dropping to maiden claiming 20. He's dropping to 100. So that's almost like maiden special weight. So no scary drop there. And, of course, Sir Flatter and Doncic. I mean, he's my favorite player right now in basketball in the NBA. Luka Doncic, and so great name, Luka, Doncic, and I'm gonna be Luka. I'm gonna look out for him and see if he does well. But Doncic with Pratt, Andrew Lerner, we've had him on the show here. Just a great up and coming trainer, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him run. And again, my favorite basketball player is named after. All right, nice exacta there. We're just gonna cash and cash and cash and cash, Chappie.
Hey, Joe, speaking of cashing, before we get to the exacta, next weekend you've got a couple running, right? Is Tiz the Magician coming back here at the Great Race Place?
Yep, we had Tiz Magician. He had his final prep work this morning. He went 5/8 in a minute and 2/5 seconds, and it went very well. Went by himself. He's a horse that always works very well in the mornings, does it easily. So he's pointing to the Grade 3 Tokyo City next Sunday, and then we'll also have a maiden Naismith out of Medaglia de Oro. We purchased him last June at OBS. He ran well on debut on the turf. He's getting to the dirt, and that new condition we're riding, that maiden optional 50 for horses that were purchased for 150,000 or less. So I think a spot that he'll be ultra live in next Sunday.
And it's sure nice with the fans coming back now that all the My Racehorse owners can get out here and enjoy it in person, right, Joe?
Yeah, that was one thing George started the show with, and just in general, just to come back out here and see people at the track again, it makes it a lot more enjoyable. And even my biggest thing is, hearing people cheer down the stretch. I remember when we first started, it was at Del Mar at the time, and it was like nobody at the track. And when the stretch runs were coming, you could hear just people having their private conversation. So it's nice to get back that normalcy back.
Didn't you guys think on Santa Anita Derby Day? I mean, we were limited like 8,000 people. It seemed like there were like 40,000 people, didn't I? The excitement, and yet probably maybe just because we hadn't heard any cheering for a while, it was really loud, and it wasn't. It was great out here on Derby Day. Millie?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was out there working, and it was nice to actually have to maneuver between people in order to do my job. And just yesterday, standing there waiting for the next race to come and chatting with some people that were doctors and nurses at the Kaiser, not far from here, their first time to the races. And that's been something I've noticed in the last, like yesterday and last weekend, is people that are coming out for the first time. And I think it's because, something is opening up. There's entertainment for these poor, parents that have had these kids that have, haven't been entertained for so long just to get out. So hopefully they'll come out and they'll have such a great time. They'll keep coming back.
And hopefully if they listen to this show, they can get Joe's exacta. What's our exacta, buddy? Why?
All right. We're going to go to race 2. Millie, don't yell at me. I'm going against the barn here. But I'm going to play Fabuzi, number 4 on top. I think this is a horse that's going to get a great trip due to post position, where Juan Hernandez can kind of put together a tactical trip depending what the horses do inside. I'm going to use the 2 logicals underneath of number 2, Kenzu's Rhythm, and Justin's Quest.
All right, Joe, I hate to interrupt you. Justin's Quest is scratched.
Justin's Quest. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, that was news to me. So let's just play it $100 straight.
Okay.
So we'll go Fabuzi, number 4, over number 2, Kenzu's Rhythm. Kenzu's Rhythm on the sheets, 2 back when he ran off the layoff, ran a 4 on the Thorograph sheets. Likely bounce first off the claim in that next start. So I think that horse is going to rebound back. I'm still going to stick strong with Fabuzi and hope he gets a good outside tactical trip there.
I love it. And of course, whenever Fabosi runs, George and I have a big smile on our face because we caught that horse at 20-1 in its second lifetime start stretching out on the turf. So
that was a great day. I'll never forget Fabosi.
Me neither.
But Joe, you notice how Millie was not going to tell you the 3 was scratched. He's going to give you the business. He's going to give you a business.
Well, first, I was going to actually tell you that I also went against the house horse, and I went with Kenzu's Rhythm. Then I was going to tell you that the horse was scratched.
Okay, good.
He was like, yeah, let me get that. That's a $50 less we have to worry about. Yeah, Joe, we're coming after you, Joe. We're coming
There you go.
after
I
you.
like it. Hey, I take nothing against it. If you ain't cheating, you're not trying.
Good try, Billy. Good try. Yeah. Billy Ball, you're great. You know what? You have galloped horses everywhere. England, here at Saratoga, Keeneland, Churchill's, now even Hong Kong. Which is your favorite? Like, what? Tell us about Hong Kong. What is that like?
Hong Kong was very different, especially for being a blonde person. You really, you stick out, and everybody looks at you. I remember going to Sha-Tin to the races, and I literally was the only blonde in the sea of dark-haired people. And they love the racing back there. I went with Neil Drysdale. I was galloping a horse for him at the time called Dance Parade, who was running out there. And so it was such an experience. And I have to say I've been very blessed working with the racehorses because it's been my ticket to travel around the world, whether it's, New Zealand or Hong Kong, as you mentioned. I felt very lucky that there's racing all over the world. And so somehow you can find a connection somewhere. And it's a great way to travel and experience different countries. Yeah.
I was standing behind Neil Drysdale in that cafeteria, and then he was in front of me, and he orders, and it was the funniest thing. He goes up to the lady, and who really, she didn't speak English that well, and so you add Drysdale in his accent, and he goes up to her and he goes, "Can I have a fish on a plate?" And she's like, "What? Can I have a fish on a plate?" It was like, "What? Fish on a plate? Wait, where is she going to put the fish if not on a plate?" But he was just so funny. He's like, "I said a fish on a plate." It's like, okay.
What's amazing is as long as Neil has been over here, he still sounds so British.
Yes.
Their nasal voice about him. Yeah, Uncle Neil. I spent a lot of time with Neil and Sean. Great friends, and he's a really fun person. Good trainer.
Millie, do you have a particular horse that's been your favorite to get on in the mornings or that you've ridden before, like one that sticks out for you?
A lot, actually. To narrow it down to one would be tough. Tinner's Way was probably one of my favorites, just because it was such a treat to be getting on him. He'd already won a Pacific Classic, so just to get on him and gallop him and breeze him was really fun. I've been lucky enough working for the Baffert Barn to breeze some really nice horses. And then with Mandela too, one filly that I used to love, trying to think of her name now, it was many, many years ago, but it'll come to me. But I used to, every time she worked, when she went by the wire, Noche's Quest, that was her name, Noche's Quest, something like that. But she would go by the wire and she would just fling her head up and squeal and do a buck, and it was whether she was by herself or in company, and you just knew that she just was so happy, with what she'd just done. It was really fun. So lots of great horses.
All right, let's get to your daily double so Joe could squeal, but in the opposite, squeal with like,
man.
All right, daily double time.
Okay, I'm going to the nightcap at Santa Anita for my daily. Hang on, let me see. Race 9. Oh, excuse me. So race 8, number 9, home. I'm going for price there. I just really like the way that Home is coming into this race. The blinkers are going on, cutting back in trip. You get the weight break as well, a good post. So I'm gonna go big with an 8-1 shot in my first part of the double. And then in the 9th race, which I think is wide open, I select 2 horses. I went with the 2, My Tigress, and the number 6, Uncaged Kitty, who's a full to El Tigre Terrible, who's earned over $200,000. She's a filly that it looks like they had to take some time to get her to the races, but I think she's shown some good works in the morning, and I think with her pedigree, it's worth taking a shot there.
There is a scratch in that race for you guys listening. Number 5, V Bucks, and that's also a Miller. So this is a case where Miller entered 2, but then only 1 will do. And so they scratched V Bucks. I always think that's a good sign when a trainer enters 2 and scratches one of them. Like he's like, I really wanted that race to go and want to make sure that Uncaged Kitty, that first time starter, gets to the races. So that's a great. I like that daily double. Chappie?
All right, Joe, let's get it. Where are you going with your double and why?
Yep. So my daily double. Well, let me tell you, if Millie hits her double, I think we're losing regardless, even if I hit all 3 with that home. So my whole day is going to be rooting against home, I guess. But we're gonna go to race 4, $50 daily double. No surprises. I'm going with the logical Bristol Bayou on the drop. Dominated last time out. I think is going to get a very similar trip, and it's going to be tough to beat right back. Looking in race 5, Shanghai Sunrise, number 2, has been working well in the mornings. I thought drew the rail last time, her first time against winners. I think we're going to see an improved effort here today. And then number 3, she's been a horse that's been honest and consistent. Been a little shy of the winner's circle, 1 second time out, and has run a lot of second and third since then. But a horse that shows up every time, should be tactical. And I think between those 2 horses, we should get it done there.
All right, so Georgie, we're taking the double race 4. Start with the free square there at 4 to 5, hopefully in the morning line. And Joe's just he's getting on the board today. We're gonna win.
We're getting on the board. Yeah.
We're just we don't care what we win by. Just 10 cents. Either that or
the key to this game is all you got to do is win 1. And if everyone else loses, all you got to do is win 1. You move on.
That's right.
All right, I'm losing my backdrop over here. It's falling down.
I thought you were sitting on it. Scared me.
Before it just kind of disintegrates. We have Siggy Mendoza. Hello, Siggy. He says, or Siggy says, that the best bet of the day is Go Daddy Go. Go Daddy Go is in race number 6, which is also our tiebreaker race. So thanks for watching, Siggy. Thanks for that input. Thank you, Bleacher Crete and John Van Landingham for being on and commenting. All right, we won in the pregame show. You get first pick in race number 6 for the tiebreaker. Millie, who are you going with?
I'm going with Go Daddy Go.
There you go, Woo! All right, so if we happen to tie, we just, we'll be moving on to round 2. Millie, once again, Joe, we'll see him in the next charity contest. All right, go ahead.
Wow. A lot of trash talking, Joe. Who are you going with your tiebreaker?
We'll go with number 2, getting back on the dirt, stretching back out in distance. I think that would be the logical next choice. Have to say Go Daddy Go is probably going to be tough in there, but we'll take a chance with American Dancer, number 2, stretching back out on the dirt.
All right, there you go, my brother. There you go, Joe.
All right, we got about a minute on the show. Before we get off, really, talk to us about myracehorse.com, how people can get involved, Joe, because there is nothing like getting involved and being part of this fantastic sport. Talk to us about My Racehorse.
Yeah, go head to myracehorse.com. You can learn a lot of information from the website. We got a support number, email where you can reach out if you have any specific questions. But it's a great way. I've grown up in this game my whole life, and it's always been something. How do we get new owners into the game? And this is a great way to do it. We've seen people start with My Racehorse, go to the next level, and it's all seeing what you want to do ultimately. My Racehorse, we also started another ownership called Edge Racing. It's powered by My Racehorse, which is kind of taking you to that next level. We got one running in about 0 minutes at Gulfstream number 2, coming off back-to-back wins. But, My Racehorse is a great way. You can pick all different trainers diversified throughout the whole country. And you got to get to pick and choose what you want, whether you want 2-year-olds, active racehorses, pedigrees, and it brings it fun, and you get to learn a lot of things that you never knew about in this game. That's one thing I'll say. I'll say most trainers, I'm sure Millie will say, even to this day, she's been in this game her whole life. She's still probably learning every single day. These horses teach you something every day, and that's something you just really can't beat with the horses.
Love it.
All right, thank you guys so much. Both of you, I was only, obviously we're just kidding with the competition. We love you guys both. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you guys so much. And my racehorse has a support number. Joe's gonna need a support number, Millie, to like 1-800. I came in second again. And but other than that, great show. Thank you. We'll see you live, Millie, right here at the Great Race Place. You don't want to miss Millie and all her insight. Thank you, guys. Any last words before we say goodbye, Chappie?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys both. We had a great time. George, and if you need to fix that backdrop, you can get my $7 check.
I got $7 to work with.
Yeah, we're all good. So, no, thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Yeah.